Alrighty. These guys not in yet?
Not a clown. It's a clown show. It's a joke.
Season 7, Season 7, Season 7, Season 7, Season 7.
That's a very good idea.
Countdown clock?
And down.
Countdown clock
Yeah.
on the podcast?
Yeah. There was a show a long time ago. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's first show out of the blocks after Seinfeld was a show called Watching Ellie. And they had a real-time clock that would count down the show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, wouldn't you just be able to look at your clock? Same way?
No. I just mean in terms of the
people with no
episode.
clocks.
Yeah,
This was
for
for
the episode. No. What time it was? How much time was left in the show, right? So sometimes it would cut off with like 2 seconds left. You wouldn't know what happened, but they just left it.
The best if,
cool.
if we do one for the Rubber Boots pod and it's a half an hour, and then every episode will end like this. All right, let's get to Lester now. Lester, how was your week?
Done.
That was a good start. People like that.
Yeah, people
Like
like
that. Welcome, everybody, to the Rubber Boots podcast brought to you by our friends at betsafe.net. This is one of a multitude of podcasts we now have. If you haven't listened already, listen to our spin-off podcast, Rubber Squid, where we discuss, every week we discuss episodes of Squid Game, the show that's swept the world and made Netflix $900 million. So we'll be doing that every week. We've basically spun off What You Watching. So when Rubber Squid is done, we'll do another one.
I got a question for you. How does a show like that make Netflix so much money when I'm already got Netflix? So I'm watching it anyways. I'm watching it for free. I don't understand. Like, did they get $900 million worth of new subscribers who just bought it for Squid Game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah, that's probably how they go by. Sales are up.
Chance, 900 million.
Well, it's not 900 million people. It's like
They're
$10
just
a
making
month.
up numbers. It'd be like us saying like that we have like 1,500 listeners. It's crazy talk.
We have 1,500 listeners?
We're just making numbers up now.
Puffy, we have like 20,000 listeners.
Yeah.
Don't be mean.
Yeah. We might as well say 300,000. We're just Squid Games here. We're making stuff up like Netflix.
All right. Well, if the betsafe.net people are listening, we have 300,000 listeners.
betsafe.net.
Anyway, this is the podcast. This one's called the Rubber Boots Podcast, right? Is that right, Stoff?
I think so.
That's the name of this one. Where do we want to begin this week? I didn't have a lot that happened this week. We call this episode the week where nothing happened. But you know what? The dog situation is still an issue here. I told you last week our issues with Buddha and Willow and Puffy's. Puffy, you want to tell us about your puppy as well? We don't want to go on a negative note, but Taffy.
Yeah.
Well, is that Taffy behind you? Is that Taffy behind your right shoulder?
That's Jerry.
That thing looks ferocious.
Okay. We got that at the hockey tournament this weekend. Kids won. Big win.
Why did you name it Jerry?
Austin did. I'm like, he's like, Jerry's coming downstairs. I'm like, who's Jerry? He's like,
That's in
Jerry.
lieu of a trophy?
Yeah.
That's
No, we won a trophy too. He won this. We were in St. Catharines. Anyone who has a hockey tournament in St. Catharines, stay at the Holiday Inn in St. Catharines. It is like a Las Vegas for kids. It's like bowling alleys, laser tag.
You want to get them started early.
It's like,
Hey, did you get up to the patio, the rooftop patio?
No, they had a rooftop?
Yep, there's a on the sixth floor. I think so, yeah. I thought
awesome.
that's what you were talking about. You talking about bowling alleys. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You played there, Lester? Have you played at the Holiday Inn St. Catharines?
No, I didn't play there, but one of the bands I'm in, I can't remember who it was. We had a festival there in St. Catharines, and we stayed there. It was nice.
Awesome.
Bone Diggers?
No,
Bone Diggers.
no, I think it was an Elton show actually.
Oh, nice.
This is years ago.
Wonder Kid with the Wonder Kid?
Wonder Boy.
The Boy Wonder. His name is Robin.
Oh.
The Boy Wonder.
The boy.
Okay, so
Anyway,
Jerry's fine, but Taffy's
So Taffy, she's 16. She's not been doing well. She's been going downhill, and she sort of stopped eating, and she was getting pretty frail. And so Tanya and I made the decision that we were going to have her put down. So we called. They actually will come to your house, and they'll make sure everything's not good, and then they'll put her down. So we had the appointment booked for right now. Like this is supposed to be happening right now. But so we decided to just as we're preparing her, we'll give her a little bit more try to get her to eat something. So we started giving her like real food, like people food.
Meat.
And yeah, like boiling chicken and potatoes and stuff for her. Now she's eating like she's a horse. She's back. She's back being a puppy.
Shocking.
I'm like, we were taking her out and she's like doing great again. I'm like, oh my God. So we canceled the appointment. So she's looking good for Taffy, but
smart dog.
Yeah, she played
she got the freshly cooked food.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but is it possible she was listening to your call and she went,
Well, Dave Poulins told me that he had a dog like that, and he was going to put them down, and all of a sudden they smartened up. So maybe that's dogs. Dogs are pretty smart.
You know what? My first dog, well, Brooksy and our first dog together when we were still dating was Tanner, smartest dog alive. This incredible Jack Russell I've probably talked about on the podcast before. Yes. And Tanner died a tragic death where he was 11, but he was still like a puppy. And we were up at some farm and he I don't know, I think he got into some rat poison or something. That's my guess. We'll never know. But he just basically had this horrific hemorrhage in front of all the kids and died. And
oh God.
It was just awful, right? I didn't sleep for 3 months. But in some ways, I'm now in retrospect that we're going through this with Willow and Buddha, not quite there yet where you are, Puffy, but it's hard making that decision because it's on you, right? There's a guilt level there that you are making the decision to end this animal's life.
With Tanner, you didn't have to.
No, and it just happened, and so I'm not looking forward to any of this. Buddha is blind and deaf, and he's physically okay, but he has no idea where he is anymore, and so he just stumbles around the house, and he's scared, right? He's shaking all the time because you imagined, deaf and blind. I just can't even. You have no concept of what's going on around you, and so. Man, it's just, but I'm not looking forward to that. It's, I suppose, a wonderful, tender moment, and it's a nice way for them to go. And the veterinarians do an amazing job, but I am not looking forward to that, Puffy. So I hope Taffy hangs on a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hopefully.
It's tough.
Brutal.
Stuff. Why don't we do? Is it things that I saw on the Twitter?
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Now there's a wonderful theme. So
things that we saw on Twitter.
Today I came across something that was very interesting to me because, we're always looking for sports that we could be good at, we could excel at, that we could represent for Malta at the Olympics.
Right.
I came across this one, the Balloon World Cup.
I saw this.
And I sent you guys the video, and we'll play it right here.
Yeah.
And it's basically, as a kid, you probably played this game.
We all did it.
We do
where
it.
You're just hitting the balloon, someone else hits it, and you're trying to keep it up, and whoever can keep it up without letting it hit the ground,
I'm very good.
Wins.
I beat your ass.
No, I would destroy you. It literally. I can keep it from hitting the ground all day.
Let's do it.
I'm very good. I'm very good. I'll slide, and I'll pop.
Will you dive?
I'll dive a little, and then that's when I go with the backhand. When you dive, backhand up.
So now, but you guys need an intricate setup like the way they have in the video, because here they have couches, they have a car parked in there.
There's a car,
there's an arcade game machine in there too. Like there's a bunch of obstacles. These guys are both wearing helmets, so safety first. Definitely want to see a couple helmets on you guys.
I'm more like 1960s hockey player with it.
Also will grandfather it in. For
I believe the first I saw of it was actually our good friend Jay on Wright. It was on his show, if I'm not mistaken, where they had the highlights. That was very cool. Very cool.
They did?
I would love to play that game with you guys. Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, that could catch on, right? And Stoff, you said these guys were just did it on their own. The guys who invented it were some kids, right?
Yeah, it was inspired by two guys who started playing this together during quarantine, and the only reason they started recording themselves was because they get into constant arguments over if the balloon actually hit the ground or not.
Of course.
And then after recording it, they decided to put it on TikTok, and you know how TikTok goes from there. It just blew up. And then this past weekend, they just had the first ever Balloon World Cup, and it was won by Francesco de la Cruz from Peru. So congrats to him.
Amazing. I propose we have I propose we have a rubber boots tournament. Balloon, the rubber boots balloon contest, and each person eliminated is shot in the head.
Okay. I'm confident.
Not everything has to be Squid Game, Lester.
I just
come on, what? That's funny.
I wonder if we're gonna have the balloon showdown before the golf game.
Oh, we'll definitely do the balloon thing. The golf game's never going to happen.
We're not stop. It's never going to happen.
That's
happening. It's happening.
Now.
The one thing I would say about these like kind of new sports is that there's unbelievable athleticism.
This is a sport.
No, that's going to become a thing. I bet you there'll be a world. Was that a world championship? You said
there was a World Cup already. So
there you go.
Yeah.
What's the one?
It's like spike ball. Spike ball is getting big.
Yeah, spike the one
That's
where you
it.
bang
Spike
it
ball's
off
a lot.
mini
It's off the
trampoline.
rebounder.
Yeah.
little thing off the rebounder.
Yeah, it's a rebounder. It's exactly
it's a
what it is.
Rebounder. Hey,
See, you should be good at that.
Wow.
Yeah, but spike balls, two players, teammates, and Lester just rebounds alone.
Yes, for now.
Well, you could have his inflatable there with him.
But I've been training this whole time.
Yeah.
But those, like, if you ever go do the spike ball, like see the spike ball videos, there's incredible athleticism in the spike ball.
Yeah,
games, right?
Spike ball is one of those games, though, when you're watching, if it's played at a high level, is like unbelievable.
It's insane.
But
you don't think
when
this
you
balloon
watch
thing could be?
normal people do it, it's very bad.
Yes,
Like,
true.
people stink at it.
I was
It's
in the
gonna be-
States a couple years ago, like on the beach, and there was some like college kids, I guess, playing it, and they were pretty damn good, man.
Were they? Maybe
It
they're.
was entertaining.
You
to
might have
watch,
just
but-
stumbled into a professional game.
Well, perhaps.
Maybe we should do some sort of rubber boots decathlon or like Battle of the Network Stars. That's a dated reference, but in the for our young listeners in the 70s and 80s, they would put all the TV stars of all the shows in all these crazy events against each other. So you'd get Tom Selleck, kayaking against Heather Locklear. It was unbelievable, right? Gabe Kaplan was always a star. Gabe Kaplan would always win those things.
It was an awesome show. It's awesome.
It was a fantastic.
Yeah.
Why don't they try to bring that back? Because they probably can't.
Actually,
I think
Jimmy, if
they
I'm not
did. I think
mistaken,
they
they did, and it did not go well. So.
Yeah. And the problem is back then
They
they
did.
got legit stars. And
Yeah.
now you're getting like the fourth lead on some show no one's seen.
Yeah.
I was going to, in the wake of O-Dog and his running around the track last year with Al's brother, I thought it would be, you could do a show, like it would get all the TSN sportscasters to compete in events like that. I would watch that show.
Well, Sean McKenzie on his show had he was competing against like
we don't watch other
I don't know
network
what you're
shows.
talking about.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
It's not a show. It's on YouTube.
I'm not even sure who
subscribe
you're
to that?
referring. I'm not even sure who you're referring to.
I think people are aware that
You pay for those channels?
Since you basically are in about 90% of his golf posts, people are aware of your relationship.
Oh yeah, he's gonna come into to episode 2 this week of Jimmy Summer Adventures. That's right. You're right. Anyway, yeah. So we like the balloon thing. What else you want? What else you got there, stuff?
Well, we got
Travis
Barker, drummer
Who is he?
from
Drummer
From one
escapes me.
Blink
Blink
182.
182.
Yep. He got engaged to one of the Kardashians. So
Which one?
Yes.
Doesn't matter?
Not Kim, not Chloe.
Chloe, I think. Chloe. No, I
No,
think it's
Chloe's
It is Chloe.
No, Chloe's with
Carly Kardashian.
No,
Carly-
Chloe's
Kimmy?
with Tristan Thompson.
What?
You
Yeah.
sure? I don't think so, brother.
100%.
Who's the one that was with Lamar Odom?
Okay, now I gotta
Chloe.
click on this.
Chloe
link
was
again.
with Lamar Odom.
Oh. And Kim was with Kanye.
Kanye, and
And
Ray
it went
J
really well for both of
and-
them.
Who's with Travis Scott? Chloe?
It's
Travis-
Courtney Kardashian.
Courtney.
It's
Yeah.
Courtney Kardashian.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care
Always
about
liked
them
her the
either.
most.
What about Robert? Which one of them was with Robert Kardashian?
He's dead.
I'm not-
That is also Travis.
Oh.
I saw
Anyway.
on TikTok
ended on a down note.
somebody asked what's his name, James Corden. he asked, I guess he was doing questions from the audience or someone, and someone asked Khloe Kardashian, do you think OJ did it? And she was just laughing.
Oh my God! Well, listen. Let's face it. That whole trial made that whole family. No question.
Hey,
No question about
Stoff,
it
you
at all.
said Travis Barker survived the plane crash? When was that?
Yeah, I think it was back in 2006.
around
Him
there.
and DJ AM survived their plane actually crashing. I think he had something like burns on 70% of his body and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Like it was a whole ordeal.
I think like everyone else on the plane died.
Yeah,
Wow,
his
that's
manager,
amazing.
I believe, died.
Private planes seem to go down a lot. Like Puffy, if you had the money, if you had all the gold bars, you could fly in a little private plane everywhere. Would you? Because I feel like the private planes go down.
I would do private planes over helicopters. I feel like helicopters go.
Yeah,
down
helicopters no good.
More than
good.
the.
I think just flying that often, you're kind of.
Yeah, it's true.
I suppose something's bound to happen, but
yeah. This has been a really uplifting podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Can we? If we're done with Twitter, can we
I had
talk
one
about
more,
what you
but
watched?
we got the horny
okay, go on,
Beatles. All right, let them do the horny Beatles.
Please go. Please go. Sorry.
Building
Sorry.
up to this thing the whole time. All right. Recently, Paul McCartney did an interview where he said that regarding the song "I Want to Hold Your Hand," which was released in 1964, he said there was eroticism behind it all. If I heard myself use that word when I was 17, there would have been a guffaw. But eroticism was very much driving force behind everything I did. And I just found it kind of odd that it was with the song "I Want to Hold Your Hand," because those are literally the lyrics.
Tell you something.
This is band. It's
Joe, one of the
Jonas'
Jonases, right? So "Cake by the Ocean" is about
Good tune.
Sex on the beach, right?
What?
And everybody knows "Hello" is about oral sex.
No, not the Lionel Richie song.
No, the Lester McLean one.
Lester McLean song. Yeah, thanks, Puff.
You didn't know that?
Oh, the Adele
Obviously.
song.
I think when it comes to imagine there was an award show. Who had the best version of "Hello"? Like Lionel Richie, Adele, Lester McLean.
No, the Lionel Richie version of "Hello" is him just saying hello.
I know.
The Lester McLean one, oral sex.
Hello.
But actually, the correct title of that song is "Hello, How You Feeling."
Well, there you go. That's what I mean.
How you feeling after my oral?
But the Beatles, all those songs, like "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds," of course, is about LSD, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You didn't know
apparently
that,
it's about
Puffy?
erotica.
Puffy looks confused by that.
Apparently it's about erotica. I just think Paul was very simple, and holding hands just did it for him.
Yeah. I think so too.
Again, like I said, I just think ultimately he's trying to get to first base so he can get home. You know what I mean? That's what if we're talking about it in that way. But that's a pretty pure lyric. I mean, I can't, we're talking about "I Want to Hold Your Hand" versus "Wet Ass." You know what I mean? So times have changed. That's what I'm trying to say.
What was the last part he said?
There's no confusing that.
Some wap.
WAP. Wet Ass. That's what the song's called. WAP.
Yeah.
Which is actually about a cat getting stuck out in the rain. Things are
Not
going
sexual
backwards
at all.
from the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going the other way.
Why don't we look for old songs with double entendres for next week's episode, and we'll bring some on, and I'll actually look it up on the Google. Let's get to listener mail.
Rubber Boots Podcast. Listener mail. Listener mail. Thank you for listening.
Was there a song for that?
Yes. It's a quick one.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
So go ahead there, Scott. You had some
we just had a couple messages from our friends here. We had some Urban Meyer fallout. J.I. simply tweeted in that you had me at 12 million. So he would have took it right away. 12 mil.
Yeah.
Sent him to Florida, and now he's got an NFL win under his belt. So
yeah,
all is forgiven, all is forgotten.
Yep.
There you have it.
Oh, and Greg Lockhart was asking if he still wanted to know if
he asked
we could marriage our kids. He wants my daughter to wed his son, right?
Yeah.
Which
Tall
daughter?
volleyball player, I believe.
Yeah, it's still possible. Although Darian came home for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, so Darian, what's going on with the boy situation? And she said, I got prospects, Dad. So there you go.
Oh, look out! Yes, indeed.
That is
Sounded like
several.
she had some prospects going on.
Oh my god!
There was also another a listener who wrote in and asked why there have been ads inserted into our podcast, which frankly,
people are asking me that.
I wasn't aware of until I listened.
It's a YouTube thing.
So no, is it a YouTube thing?
It's not on YouTube. There is no ads on YouTube. Technically,
It is a
Oh.
Bell because the podcast is doing so well. We told you we doubled our audience last year, and as we said earlier in the show,
we
we're
made
at
more
like
than Netflix. So.
150,000 listeners. So Bell has started to sell the podcast on top of betsafe.net. So personally, I don't like ads in the middle of the podcast. I'm going to talk to the higher ups and see what I can do about, I don't mind if there's a couple ads at the beginning or whatever, but it can't be in the middle of like Lester singing or Puffy, telling a funny story. That can't happen, right? Just say we care about you, the listener, and I don't want ads in the middle of our sentences. So I'm gonna arrange a meeting with Mirko. Mirko's the head of Bell. Mirko and I are going to sit down and talk about it.
He'll be taking that call for sure.
But it just means the podcast is doing well. So apologies if you've been offended by the ads. BetSafe.net is our only true sponsor. But if Bell's got to make its money somehow and keep Stoff producing this damn thing, right, Stoff?
Oh yeah.
Do you get all the revenue? You get all the revenue from the ads goes to you, Stoff? Yeah, I just want to make it clear for people that we're not. We're just not. We're not. We're BetSafe people. And we're not out there just pimping out our podcast to anybody.
Double dipping.
That's right.
Actually, had a thing I thought we could suggest to BetSafe.
Right.
With kids hockey back, do you think it's at all possible to start like setting up betting lines on kids' sporting events? And I know there might be a few instances where it might get a little out of control, but I think it would actually bring a lot of families together. And imagine your kid like wins you like $5,000.
How much more you'll love them,
or if they, you smash the over, and the goalie gives up some goals that you give them little fist bumps. I mean, there could be some things
or more likely
get away.
In a meaningless game against Leaside late in the season, you ask Austin to take a 5-minute major, giving up 2 goals to cover nicely the spread.
Give the signal.
I think it would
be awesome, though.
Stop. When's our big conference call with the bestsafe.net people? We'll have to bring that up
Wednesday morning. So
Wednesday.
I am willing
to
to set the lines for the Toronto chapter of minor hockey.
Okay.
So throw that out there.
Do you have expertise on every level?
Yeah,
like A division games, and
I'll make money for them. Don't worry, we'll pull in money. I'll set good numbers. There will be no shenanigans.
Why don't you set for our spin-off podcast, the Rubber Squid? Why don't you set some odds for each of the contestants to survive Squid Game or who make? All right, you can do that maybe for next week.
That'll be my.
Although we'll be in episode 2, 3, and 4 by then.
How many of them are going to die, James?
I'm not going to tell you that. I'm being good. I had something else to tell you guys, and now I can't remember what it is. It happens to me more and more these days. Oh, yeah, Brooksy and I have to go to the gym soon, so we're going to have to cut the podcast off. That was my way of saying Brooksy and I work out, eh? We're back at the gym now.
Are you going to like outdoor gyms?
No, we're back in the indoor gym. Have you guys gone back to the indoor
No,
gyms
sorry.
yet?
I mean like you're leaving the house to go to the gym.
Yes.
Oh, that's
we rejoined the gym. Did you guys rejoin the gym yet? Anybody?
No.
I never joined the gym.
I work out downstairs.
Yeah.
We have a gym. We have a gym I'm not going to mention because it's a great gym up my way. And the reason it's great is it's a very big gym and there's never anybody there. Like probably the most people I've ever seen in the gym is like, let's say 10.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And usually when Brooksy and I go right now, there will be me, Brooksy, and maybe one other person in the gym. And
Really?
I'm pretty sure this gym is a money laundering adventure for the owner.
Oh, I like it.
I'm wondering. How could there
Maybe
never
they can
be
get
anybody
involved
there?
with my children's gambling scheme.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, go ahead, Lester.
I was going to say, I don't know if we're close to wrapping up or anything, but I see the verdict on The Guilty at the bottom of your screen here, stuff. I actually watched this film yesterday, Jake Gyllenhaal, and I thought it was
what you watching real
fantastic.
fast. What you watching? Boom.
As I was saying before my beautiful theme, I watched The Guilty yesterday, and I thought it was fantastic. It's about 90 minutes. It is a little bit slow in places, but it was not at all what I expected. And I'm one of these people that I don't look at previews or anything like that. I just go in fresh. I didn't know anything about it, and I thought it was a fantastic piece of acting by Jake in particular, and I recommend it.
Awesome.
Okay, so I asked all you guys to watch it. You two have not watched it, I guess, Stoff and Puffy, right?
No, because one of our dear listeners, J.I., who I mentioned a little earlier, wrote, "The Guilty is hot garbage stuff. Don't watch it." So
okay, so I'm not gonna. I know you guys are not gonna watch it. So let's do. I agreed with you, Lester. As I told you, I enjoyed the movie. It was a good popcorn flick. I thought Gyllenhaal was excellent in it.
Yeah.
Now put the spoiler alert thing in. I'm going to give away a key plot. So if you want to watch The Guilty, go ahead. 1 minute.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
All right.
Okay, just put your thumb up when you're done.
Right. Okay. So, Lester.
Yes, sir.
Here's my problem. As the movie finished, and it was Brooksy that really brought this up to me first. Why did the guy leave his dying baby and little daughter at home to take the mom to the insane asylum? Why would he do that? It makes no sense except for the plot.
Well, the only other thinking I could possibly imagine is that he just wanted to get his wife out of there before she did any more damage.
Okay, call the ambulance. These are your children. Call the ambulance. They tried to set up.
I'm not saying that you're not wrong, but I'm just saying he could have wanted to protect his wife too, right? Get her to the insane asylum. I don't know. It's crazy. He seemed very upset.
It's a magic. They try to establish that he was against the cops and didn't trust the cops. But it's a major plot hole that he would do that first instead of taking his baby to the hospital or whatever. Okay, Puffy.
I take back what I said about the Squid guy overacting. Watching you guys without audio, it's like, my God. The same. It's like,
hey, before we go this week.
Hold on. I got one thing. I got one show. Flaked. It's on Netflix. Stars Will Arnett. He wrote it. He stars in it. And it's awesome.
He's awesome.
Canadian boy, right?
Will Arnett, watch it. Yeah.
I'm going to throw another one at you. Made. As an MAID.
That looks really good.
I've heard about this too.
Yeah. Awesome show. Watch the whole thing with Brooksy. It stars Andy McDowell's daughter, I believe. Andy McDowell is also in it. The daughter played a role as one of the Manson family in the Quentin Tarantino, Brad Pitt.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
She's the one in the car with Brad Pitt.
Goes with Brad Pitt.
Correct.
That's her daughter?
I believe so, and she is excellent. And it's a really good show, incredibly well done.
It's based on a true story, right? Like it's actually based on her memoirs,
based on a book written by a maid. So you can watch all those, and maybe when we're done with Rubber Squid, we can do Rubber Maid. Hey,
not bad.
And we'll get the sponsorship.
Pay the big bucks.
It's a brand. Please check out our friends at betsafe.net.
betsafe.net.
We have all sorts of announcements coming in regards to the Go Bar League.
We do.
Merch.
I'm looking forward to this meeting on Wednesday.
Stoff and I were discussing merch earlier. That's coming for beginning of season 8.
We did discuss it. Yep. Correct.
And so all sorts of things in the works. It's only episode 2. It's only episode 2 of the Rubber Boots podcast. We don't even get a kick until like episode 5 or something like that, right? Thanks everybody. We'll see you next week on the the Rubber Squid podcast, the Rubber Boots podcast, and maybe episode 1 of the Lester and Stoff podcast from this season. If Puffy and I just decide not to show up. Oh, I did want to say one more thing. One more thing before we go. Our good buddy Rod Black has left TSN and CTV. And here's what I want to say about Blackie. He is just such a solid dude. I'm not going to do like an in memoriam because he's still with us, and he's going to end up doing more broadcasting. And this was a mutual decision. But Blackie is one of those guys that is just, I wish everybody had a chance to meet him in person because he's just as solid a guy as you could possibly meet.
Although he knows everyone, so he's pretty close to him.
He does. I mean, this guy's a legend. He was the face of CTV Sports, like before I was even in the business. And he was like 90, 89, 90. He was the face of CTV Sports in his 20s. He's done basically every sport, and the ability to be a host, to be a play-by-play guy, to be whatever, to be a reporter, one of the most versatile guys I think we've ever seen in the business. And I'll just tell you a quick story about how good a guy he is. As you know, and Puffy always loves to laugh at this, my current job at TSN, I jump into roles in other sports sometimes, right? And it's always a little bit awkward for me. I'll just show up at the MLS Cup after the guys, Luke Wildman and company, have been doing it all year long. Yeah. I'll show up at the Super Bowl. And so the NBA Finals in 2019, they brought in myself and Chris Bosch to do a secondary panel. And Blackie's been the host of NBA forever on TSN. And look, there are some broadcasters who get their nose out of joint when Jimmy comes along at the last second and is taking airtime.
I know several of them. Yeah. They always tell me that I'm like.
So I fly into San Francisco for game 1, and I get into my hotel room for like 2 minutes, and the phone rings, and it's Blackie, and he says, "Let's go. We're going for dinner." And so him and Matt and Jack, Leo Routens and Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong, they always go for dinner on the road together. So the first thing Blackie does when I show up is, "Here, you're coming for dinner with us. You're part of the team." And I'm out at some Italian restaurant with those guys for the entire night. And that's just a little indication of him saying, "Hey, I'm glad you're here. You're welcome to be here." And he's just a great dude. And so we wish Blackie all the best.
He's the best.
Good guy.
He is.
Really good guy.
Really. Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week on the Rubber Boots Pod. What's the matter?
You never recapture Cabot trip. Despite teasing it at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, we'll do it real fast. So this is one more episode of what's it called? Jimmy's Summer Adventures.
Summer Vacation.
Jimmy's Summer Adventures.
Jimmy's Summer Adventures, what can we say? He played golf with the boys just about every single day. He had a good time and everything was fine. So I guess you could say the summer was a beauty.
So went to Cabot with Bob McKenzie and my son. It was a great trip. See you next week on the Rubber Boots Pod.
Awesome.
No. I'll tell you. We've been trying to get Bobby to Cabot for a while, and just like I'm trying to get all you 4 guys. I mean, I've been working on it endlessly. But the best part, the one thing of Bobby Mac's the best, but he doesn't love like the attention of fans, right? He doesn't love sitting there talking about the Leafs power play with somebody, right? Bobby just he likes his quiet life.
Yeah.
So we arrive in Halifax. We flew into Halifax, and we get in a cab that's going to take us to where we're going. And we get in the cab. Eastern people are the nicest people in the world, by the way. Eastern Canadian people, and I cannot do a good Eastern Canadian accent, so I'll screw this up. But Bobby gets in the front, myself, my son, Sean McKenzie in the back, and the guy goes. So we start driving 10 seconds, and he goes, "Oh, Bob McKenzie in the front seat with me, Bobby McKenzie. Oh, this has been a dream of mine forever, Bobby. I've loved the Leafs for 30 years, Bobby. So what do you think? Bobby, Marner. What do you think of Marner in the playoffs, Bobby? We got like a 40-minute drive ahead of us.
Oh, that's so good.
And I just see Bobby slicking down
Amazing.
in the seat. Bobby, that one time on trade deadline, Bobby, when you broke the deal about and I was just howling in the back seat.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Then the kicker was, he goes, I just can't believe I got Bobby McKenzie and Darren Drager in my cab.
That's hilarious.
But the thing was, he was talking about Sean. He didn't even.
That's right. No, so Cabot was unbelievable, as it always is. We missed it last year because of COVID. The one difference, we usually go in July, right after the free agent frenzy, and this time it was a little later, September, and it was windy, like 4 club winds, Puffy, insane. I'll give you one example. There's this one gorgeous hole facing the ocean, and it's only 100 yards long. I think maybe 120 from the tees that we were playing. And the first day, the wind was behind us, and it was like you take your 60 degree, basically, and you just take a half a swing with it. And the next day, the wind was coming in from the ocean, and I hit 5-iron.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding. The wind, you could barely stand up. The wind was blowing in your face so much.
See, and that wouldn't be fun to me. That would be
it was difficult golf. For sure. It wasn't the best. Bobby broke 100 for only the second time in his life on one of the days where it wasn't too windy. And I wanted to make note. So Cabot's got the 2 course, Cabot Cliffs, Cabot Links, 2 of the greatest courses in the world, frankly. And they've added this is where I'll take you guys. Maybe before I get you on the big course. There's a 10-hole par 3 called the Nest. And they have stadium lighting. So we played 36 one day. You go have dinner. You grab a bunch of beers. You stuff your bag with beers, and you show up at the Nest. And they're gorgeous holes, but all between like 70 yards, and I think there's longest is maybe 140 or something. The last hole is 200 yards, but most of them are like 80 yards, 90 yards, 100.
It's my kind of course.
And they're gorgeous holes, but it's all lit up by like a stadium.
That's so cool.
You're just drinking booze, and it was an awesome time. I have more stories than that, but we've gone on too long on the pod, and so I'll keep Jimmy's summer adventures to a short one this week. Okay. So is it really over now, or are you going to tell me something else I forgot? Is it over?
It's over. We did not record the.
Well, that was a good dress rehearsal.
We'll see you next week, everybody, on the Rubber Boots podcast, family of podcasts. Brought to you by betsafe.net.
Well, Lester's the true star of the show, so
we know that's all we need.
He does not have one of these, though.
No, he doesn't. I
don't. Of course I don't. Can you give me 2 minutes? I'm so sorry. I apologize.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. I never said yes. Never said yes, but he's still going.
He doesn't care.
Doesn't give a
How are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Oh, I know it's a little strange, but my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. And I know that you're haunting
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?